Good morning, Quiet here, and I am finally doing my gear video of the gear that I've taken on the West Highland Way, the Camino, and hopefully will take me even further. Today was a trail day, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm in this very nice studio. I've got it to myself. It's only 25 euros. I'm very happy with it. So I figure now is as good a time as any to actually do this gear spotlight because I have been putting it off for a while. The original intention was to do a day in the life as I was hiking the trail and kind of show stuff as I used it, but in practice it just doesn't work out very well, especially 'cause my mindset is just to kind of push on through when I'm hiking, and I don't like, taking out everything in the bag and yada yada. So let's start with some caveats. This is not the lightest setup. It's far from ultralight. In fact, I would say it's actually ultra heavy. If that's what you're looking for, this isn't the right video. I've prioritized mostly budgetary constraints. So if I already had it, I just use that. And if it was choice between a few options, I just went with the cheapest one. Another caveat is I'm not going to go too into detail on everything, especially like the camera systems. I was going to make like a separate video, but I'm not really like a tech reviewer. I did do like a Apple Vision Pro spotlight thing a while ago as an experiment, but yeah, I don't really want to get too much into the nitty gritty of like it, so I'll just kind of show you the gear I use. Oh, and everything I list, it's not going to be in a particular order. I'll try to list everything down below, as well as links, probably have Amazon affiliate links to where you can purchase it. I don't believe it's anything extra to you, but I may get a kickback on anything you buy through those links. Let's start with the clothing. Pretty much, it's what I wore on the PCT. Got these black leggings. I believe they're nylon. And I've got like this undershirt. This is actually, I believe, one of the same ones I had on the PCT. It came in a pair of black and pink, and I think I started wearing the pink one mostly on the PCT, but on this one, switched to black. The top is new. I got this as a Christmas gift. It's merino wool. It's got these cool little thumb holes I like. So it zips up, a couple of side pockets, a couple of sort of inner pouches, and it has this little nice zip here where I like to put the microphone. This was something like $200. Like I said, it was a gift, but it's merino. It's great. Like I haven't washed this in like 3 days. It still smells okay. This is what I'm wearing out here in Spain because it's a lot warmer. When I was in Scotland, I did wear different leggings. They were fleece lined on the inside, and they had like a bit of water resistance, so it was good for the weather. Socks wise, I have 2 pairs of Darn Toughs and a pair of waterproof socks, which really came in handy in Scotland. And I also have a couple of sock liners. I think on the PCT they were Inigi brand. Inigi? Can't remember. These ones are different, but I kind of swear by them. Don't know if I mentioned this, but when I was on the PCT, I only developed one blister, and that was the day that I was not wearing my sock liners because I was using them as kind of makeshift bindings for my legs when I had shin splints. On the other hand, Sunspot from a trail family on the PCT, she did wear sock liners, and she said they gave her blisters, so she stopped wearing them. So your mileage may vary. I keep all my clothes in this little sack here. Pretty much all my stuff is organized that way. It is heavier, but I kind of like having everything organized. But we'll dive into that in a second. Continuing the theme of what I'm wearing, I've got 2 watches. This is just a Casio World Time watch. And I have got a Garmin. It's a Descent Mark II-i, I believe. It's definitely the most expensive watch I've ever owned, and it's probably the last one that I will ever spend that much money on. There's a newer version that's a lot better for roughly the same price, so if you are thinking about one of these, I would say go for that one. This is technically a dive computer as well. It's not really specialized for like hiking or whatever, but it does do activity tracking and things like that. That does eat at the battery life though, so I stopped doing that. In regular use, the battery lasts like 16 days. It's crazy. For gloves, I use these Kofit. I had originally bought these for something else. I was going to go on a bike trip. These have like little gel paddings here to kind of dull vibrations, but these are what I had when I left on the hiking trip. So I just brought these. I already have a couple holes in them, but so far they're holding up relatively. And that's also brings me to my sun hat. It's got the little flap at the back so the brim doesn't hit the back of my backpack, which I didn't realize would be an issue until I actually tried on the fully loaded pack for the first time. And so then I picked this up after. Brings me to my jackets. This is the same one that I had in the beginning of the PCT. I did end up sending it home once I got like 600 miles in the Sierras. I picked up a Puffy, but I ended up losing that Puffy, so I just brought the jacket I already had. It's fairly warm. It's from, I believe, Alpha Industries. It's an expensive jacket, but the quality is pretty amazing. Like I said, this held up like 600 miles on the PCT. I've been carrying it the past few hundred miles on this trip. It does not like pack down as well as a puffy jacket. It's not quite as warm, but I like it. It's orange on the inside. It's reversible. If that ever comes up, you can turn it inside out for visibility. And it's got a synthetic inner, so it still insulates when it's wet. And the outside is like this really tough nylon. Like there's no holes in this jacket after years of use. So very happy with it. And then we have our shoes. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I am wearing barefoot shoes. On the PCT, I kind of fell in love with the Ultras. I think the Lone Peak 5, and I continued to wear them. Once I got off trail, it was like my daily shoe. But a couple of years ago, I kind of started getting into the whole sort of minimalist type of shoe, which, if you don't know, basically it just means that there's very little cushioning in here. Kind of forces you to like kind of walk more naturally, be lighter with your step because you can't just like slam your heel. So these do take a lot of training before you can wear them on a consistent basis. In my job, I was standing up and moving a lot, so I just started wearing them to work and also on my commute for a couple of years, and then I kind of broke these in the last 6 months or so before I left. These are the Vivo Barefoot Magna Escape. It's got like a leather outer here, and the sole is actually Michelin rubber, like the same stuff from the tire company, which is pretty cool. There's also a service that Vivo Barefoot has where you can actually send them in and they will replace the sole. So once this finally does wear out, I can get it replaced. I think it's like 85 bucks. Does mean I'll have to send them away, but the leather has been very durable. I did push a pair of Ultras to like 500. I think like 300 is kind of the recommended time. That's when the cushioning starts to give out. When I pushed it to 500, I went like full hobo. My toe was actually busting out. But yep, so far these have held up. I'm very happy with them. It does take some adjustment to, hike in these, since there's like no cushioning. I honestly wasn't expecting it to work out as well as it does. I didn't want to keep replacing shoes on the road because frankly I can't afford it. So I'm just kind of pushing these as long as I can. That's almost it for what I wear. I also have a pair of glasses. These are prescription. These are actually, I mean, I guess this could go under camera gear, but these are the Ray-Ban Metas. Has the camera, has the speakers. So far, I have not used the camera because I pretty much just keep these turned off to save battery life. I don't want just like another thing to charge. But these are also just like my main glasses, so that's why I brought them. I've had these clip-ons that attach to the glasses, so I can have sunglasses. They also flip up. When I originally bought these, they were reflective, but that is not a thing anymore. And when I say reflective, I mean like the anti-glare coating, basically like the mirror shade thing. Now it's just pretty much just tinted. And I also just have the regular sunglasses I used to wear back home. They're oversized. I like that style. That's just me. It's a personal thing. And a lot of times I sometimes just end up wearing these instead of my actual prescription glasses, especially on days where I'm just kind of grinding and there's not even like anything to see. If there's like a really nice mountain or something, I'll probably want to switch to my prescription. A lot of times I just end up wearing these. Covers the face more, keeps out the sun. One of the last things I wear is this hip pouch. In my daily life, I usually always wore something like this. I also wore something like it on the PCT, but that did not stand up. I mean, I kept it the entire trip, but it was falling apart by the time I finished. So I kind of kept replacing it. Like every 6 months or so, something on it would break and I would just replace it. This one has held up a lot more because it's basically just canvas. I also picked this one up because the capacity is a lot bigger. Got this main pocket here where I keep some of my daily stuff. It's got a separate pocket up here. Pockets on the sides. Yeah, just kind of right around my waist. There is a leg strap, but I've kind of just stopped wearing it and it works just the same. Okay, so then let's start digging into the specific stuff. Oh, and something else I forgot is my trekking poles. These were same brand I used in PCT. Fox Heli. Got some duct tape wrapped around there. Basic trekking poles. got them because they were cheap. So we were talking about clothes. This is my clothing bag. Stuff I wear for sleep is in here. I have like a merino top, merino pants. I've also got like a little swim skirt here, extra socks. These are the fleece leggings I mentioned. I've also got a wool cap. That was just a last minute gift. Actually, I was on the plane ride to the airport. My dad gave it to me for my sisters. This came in handy on the West Highland Way because it got pretty cold at night. There's that other pink racerback I mentioned. Oh, gosh, forgot to mention my buff. But you've already seen me wearing the buff. So, yeah, that's what's on my neck. Helpful to keep the sun out, keep the wind out. And extra pair of underwear. So basically just 2 socks, 2 underwear. Kind of like 2 of everything. That's the theme, except for the sleepwear. I've only got 1 of those, but those are the clothes. Okay, so let's do toiletries since it's all self-contained as well. A lot of toiletries, so don't be too shocked. This is my main bag. Got a little bit of everything in here. Toothbrush, razors, sunscreen, lotion, eye drops, makeup, nail clippers, flossing pick thingies. Yeah, it is a lot. Okay, I've also got my this is a waxing kit for my shoes. I do that like every week or so to make sure they stay water resistant. Got some meds and a few other things that make them handy. Wink, wink. Got more miscellaneous stuff, just like backups of stuff in the main bag. Also have a brush in here, which I almost never use, but probably should. It gets a little ratty sometimes. Got some painkillers. These were from a dentist visit. I never used them because I don't really like taking painkillers, but for emergencies, I've got that. These are to help with snoring. Try to use these. I don't know if they actually work, but I use them in the bunks. Just like these little, got earplugs in there too. Okay, this kind of go in your nose. It kind of helps open the passageway, hopefully, so I don't disturb other people when they're sleeping. That's why I also have like this little snore strap, but I haven't used this as much. Not religious, but my grandmother gave me this cross right before I left, so brought it with me. Got a vape that's dead that I completely forgot to get rid of. Haven't used this in like a couple of years. Some more meds. I got some gluco tape wrapped around it just in case. And then this is, I guess, more meds and sewing kit and band-aids and miscellaneous things. This is a repair kit for a sleeping pad. It's only worked moderately well, but I have it. Got some Picadarn insect repellent. Yep, I need to start using this more. And yeah, it looks like more just miscellaneous stuff. There's a tick remover. Thankfully, haven't found the tick yet. Hopefully I didn't just miss it, but haven't seen the tick. And this is a actually a portable scale. It's pretty light, it's pretty small, so I just brought this in case I have to make sure my bag's under a certain weight to fly. So yeah, now that I think about it, I guess I'll weigh everything once it's fully packed, just to kind of show that off. Yeah, it looks like there's some cordage in there. Can't remember why I brought that, but actually that's going to come in handy. I need to repair something. Okay, let me put this away and we'll move on. Let's talk electronics. This is kind of my main electronics bag. It's pretty heavy. Here I have some extra hard drives. These are Samsung T7 SSDs, extra plugs, kind of decorated with some pins that I've collected. Got a little baggie of miscellaneous like SD card adapters. This was a Christmas gift. It's a radio. I guess it's shortwave. I actually kind of use this a lot, especially when I first started. I was just kind of spending a lot of times in the backcountry, just kind of getting used to being alone again. And yeah, it's fun to listen to. I haven't used the radio that much, even though technically it could come in handy. But cool thing is, this actually has a little SD card reader built in. I have my iTunes library, like back when that was actually a thing, like where you had like just a whole library of like MP3s on your computer from like turn of the century, basically. So I can go to sleep with the docile tones of NSYNC and Christina Aguilera. So it's a mess, a lot of chords, a couple of spoilers in here, but these are Eclipse glasses, I guess, which I kind of forgot about. They're probably useless now, but I'm still carrying them. These actually kind of came in handy in Scotland. These are electric hand warmers, which I didn't even know was a thing. Yeah, you can set how warm you want it. That's the warmest. And yeah, it actually does get pretty hot. Got a padlock in here because sometimes you have to like buy a padlock at some hostels to put your stuff in the locker, so it's nice to have that. Oh, yeah, I have a little memento here. This is when I was visiting the PCT gang in Denver. It's Wawa. There's tidbits, and I think, well, there's my hand, but yeah, that's about all you can see. I've also got my old passport in there as backup ID just in case. And this is a big ass flashlight, very heavy. My dad actually gave this to me on the car on the ride to the airport, so I kind of just stuck it in there and been carrying it for hundreds of miles. Speaking of light, this is my headlamp. It's a night core. It comes like this, like with the little shock cord, so it's pretty light. It's got the red light, so it's good for nighttime, and also has like a variety of lighting modes, and the battery lasts a long time. So since you already got some spoilers in there, I guess I'll just take this off. This is a waterproof sack that came with my sleeping pad, but I've used it to put my big electronics in. This is a Kindle Scribe, which I've been using to kind of keep a journal and just do some writing and just, reading in bed at night. And yes, I have a full frickin' laptop in this rugged case that I've been carrying this entire way. And this is what runs the channel. I do all my video editing on here. Got this little pocket installed with a rugged 4TB Samsung SSD built in. Of course, when I actually carry this, I don't have this in here. I put it in there. But yeah, this is a 14-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro. This is the Max Out edition. I actually bought this, it even says right there. I bought it back in 2023, back when this was already a couple years old, and it was a lot cheaper. I got it for like, I think $1,800, but this was like, I think the $5,000 or $6,000 model. It's got 64 gigs of RAM and like a 2TB SSD. So this thing is a beast, and I probably will not have to upgrade for quite a while. Even though I don't do a ton of like, fancy edits on this thing, it's still good to have a full laptop instead of just editing on my phone, which I did on PCT, which always kind of killed me a little bit. But yeah, this is like, 4 pounds. So this is one big reason why my pack is so heavy. In addition to camera gear, I guess I'll have to get some shots of this, but this is the Osmo Pocket 3, and I have a invisible selfie stick with a tripod built in, so that's how this is mounted right now. Other camera I have that I've barely used is the Insta360 X4. I guess they just came out with the X5, but this is what I'm using for the foreseeable future, and I don't even really use this that much. I'm thinking once I get to more remote places with like more kind of adventurous activity, this could come in handy for some stuff. I've got the premium lens guards on there, and this little silicone protector. So it's pretty slim to carry around. Another camera, which I haven't used as much as I wanted to, but it's still nice to have. It's a Hover Air X1 Pro Max. This is actually an 8K drone, but I only shoot in 4K. But it has kind of a lot of cool modes and stuff. Like I said, I was going to do like a whole separate camera feature and like actually show these cameras in use, but I mean, honestly, you could just look up any tech YouTubers' reviews of these things and get those kind of cool shots. So I'm just letting you know what I have. This is a travel adapter. This is that one for Spain right now, for the EU. Also has the UK and US. I got this because it's got 70 watts, which is pretty powerful. This could run my laptop from this port here. But it also has like 2 other ones, or actually 4. 2 of each, USB-C and USB-A down there too. And it's got like pass-through if you want to plug other devices in while it's plugged into the wall. This is the battery bank I have. VoltMe, I guess. I actually had like a really huge battery bank that I had been planning on coming, but I found out it was actually such high capacity, you weren't actually allowed to fly with it. It's illegal. So I got this 20,000 milliamp hour one. Charges the phone a few times over. Very useful to have, especially sometimes when you're in hostels where outlets aren't near the beds. And I don't want to just go plug my phone into another room, so I just plug this in at night and then later on charge the battery bank. A couple of miscellaneous smart cables. This one lets me charge 2 devices at once, so usually I charge my camera and my microphone at the same time. This is another Garmin device. This is the InReach. Frankly, I have been in cell reception most of the time and haven't really needed to use this. I'm just going to use this to check in at night when I don't have reception, but I'll probably get more use out of this once I head up to more remote locales. But yeah, SOS feature is always handy to have as peace of mind just in case. 2 phones. I've got an Android and an iPhone. That's why they call me Tanya Two Phones.
Trust me, that's not what they call you.
My iPhone was like my main phone back home. It's still locked to my home network, so when I'm out here, it only gives me very slow data, but still good to have an iPhone backup because I do have an AirTag in my bag, so I can keep track on it if need be. And I've got an Android. I think this is the Fold 5. I did carry a fold on the PCT. I believe that was the fold 2. And I am surprised at how well this is held up. It did have another case on it. This kind of peeled apart and I lost it a while ago. But otherwise, it still works. Got a screen protector on it that's seen a lot of damage, but it's holding up. Okay, let's move it along. Got my food bag here. This was, I believe this was just a bag that I had lying around. It's the same bag I had on the PCT. It might have been a tent bag or something, but try to keep everything organized with Ziploc. Right now, as you can see, just a lot of ramen and candy from the last resupply. I do have a can of anchovies. Anchovies are like kind of a big thing out here. They're usually super expensive for some reason. Maybe it's because they're like better out here or something, but this one was only a couple of euros. This, I actually did pick this up before I left. It's kind of heavy, but it's just like full of spices, garlic salt, cayenne, curry. Like they say, you can live on packaged meals from now till Judgment Day if you have a little rosemary. This does not have rosemary, but you get the idea. Going back to that hip pouch, up here I just kind of keep coins and cash and my cards and stuff. As Columbia said, one of his rules of through hiking, I believe number 5, was mop the back porch. Which reminds me, this is also where I keep a little backpack grenade that I also bought in Kennedy Meadows. Just kind of goes into a water bottle, squeeze the bottle, water comes out. So, nice to have. Apparently I also have a lighter in there. And speaking of, it looks like I also have this is where I keep my AirPods for the iPhone and just earpods for the Samsung. The main compartment is where I keep my passport and my Pilgrim passport, where I get my stamps. I also have this handkerchief, which was, I believe I got this at a Triple Crown Outfitters in Kennedy Meadows at the 700-mile mark, the 2021 class bandana, and I mainly just use it to blow my nose. So yeah, I'll wash my hands after. Headlamp, I keep close by on that. I actually did used to store my garment on this little clip here, because I always kind of have this on me, even if I leave my bag somewhere. But somehow the clip did come undone, and I actually would have lost it, but Zelda and her family saw it and gave it back to me. So that was a close one, so now I just store it on my strap backpack, which I'll show in a moment. Here I've just got some ibuprofen. I keep some hand sanitizer in there. This was a camp mirror, but it broke, but still carry it. It's just a piece of plastic. And then here, just got some extra earplugs. Got a sleeping mask, which I haven't needed to use yet, but I might soon since already it's setting like around 9:30 p.m. And I've got some Body Glide for chafing and stuff. And did I say compass? Like, yeah, like an actual kind of compass. Don't have a map on this trail, but for some future ones that are more remote, I will probably get one. And I do know a little bit on how to kind of navigate with that paper map, but it doesn't hurt to keep practicing. Might as well also show this since it's here. Got just an Nalgene water bottle. I never used to carry one of these, but in Scotland I figured it'd be good to have in case I needed to like heat up water at night. Never did, but still, it was nice to have a place to kind of put stickers. This was at one of the campsites I stopped at. I actually tried to upsell me on stickers. I think this was like €2, and it's like, oh, you can get an extra one for just an extra euro. It's cheaper. And it's like, well, 2 is still cheaper than 3, so I'll just stick with this one. Okay, and then we have the main bag. Oh, geez. Yeah, it looks a little sad right now. It's like all deflated. Everything's out of it. This is a Mystery Ranch bag. I believe it is the TerraFrame 65. So about 65 liters. Some of you may be familiar with Mystery Ranch. It's kind of a cottage industry brand made in the USA. From my understanding, yeah, there's a few caveats about this bag. First off, Yeti, the company, they actually bought Mystery Ranch, and as far as I know, from the statement they released, they were actually going to be phasing out their consumer backpacks, so you might not even be able to pick this up anymore. I mean, last time I checked, it was back ordered on their website. It's also a very expensive bag. It was like $500 retail. I did not pay that, and I probably wouldn't have. I found it from a third party, and with discounts, it was less than $300, which was right in line with the Osprey Atmos that I was actually thinking about buying. So I ended up getting this one instead. It carries weight very well. It's rated for 150 pounds, which means I will break before the bag does. Got these very well cushioned pads. I've actually got some compliments when people have seen how cushioned it is. It's very adjustable. This thing can slide up and down via Velcro to like get to different torso height. And the frame is here, and it is carbon fiber. Yeah, it's got these little stays in it in this like canvas frame, so the frame can actually bend, so it kind of moves with you as you move, but it's still extremely strong. Cool thing about, the company, they, make gear for like rescue services and firefighters and also hunters. So one of the reasons why I got this pack, I'm really not going to demonstrate it. Maybe I'll post a picture or something. But basically the frame can break away from the pack and you could actually store stuff like back here and kind of expand the bag outward, which is a feature I haven't needed to use. The bag's already freaking heavy enough, but who knows, maybe someday if I want to like bring like a pack raft or something on some adventure, this would be the perfect bag to carry it. So another feature of the bag is that I thought I was going to use, but haven't because of reasons. It actually kind of zips open in the U shape and you can pull it out to access stuff in the middle. But I have a pack liner, aka a trash bag. So if I did that, I'd have to, I would just see a trash bag down there. I wouldn't actually be able to access anything. It all has to go to the top, which has not been as big of an issue as I, thought it might be. They call these torpedo pockets on the outside. This is where I keep my cook system. I guess I might as well pull that out. This is just like a Stanley mug, fold out arms. Inside of there, got a Toaks titanium mug. And then inside of here, it's kind of rusty. I keep just like a little plastic dishcloth, fuel, and this is, the stove system. Can't remember what stove this is, but it has like a little push button igniter. So yeah, which comes in handy. I've also got this little thing which lets you transfer fuel between canisters, which I actually used once when I was in Scotland. There was an extra fuel can and I transferred fuel over. And, lighter, little silicone funnel for some reason. Can't remember why I have that. But yeah, that is my cook system. Oh, and same spork I had on the PCT. This was one I bought to replace my original, I think it was like one of those Snow Peak titanium sporks. But I like this one because of the long handle to like dig in the food bags and stuff. So this is my go-to. But down here is where I strap on my sleep system. Okay, guys, I'm sort of inserting this after the fact because I realized I didn't really go through my sleep system. And since this is recorded a little bit later, get the benefit because I replaced something recently. So first off, we got the tent, new door. I think this is a down tent. Not sure. I just know the reason I got it. It's not the warmest. It's not really, I would say, like used or made for winter hiking, but it's really small. So that's the main reason I got it, because it packs down so small. I had one that was like much more temperature resistant, but it was just like way too big. So I just got that, and on those cold nights on the West Highland Way, I just bundled up the sleeping pad I got. This is brand new. I actually haven't used it yet, which probably isn't, a good thing, but I'm sure it'll be fine. This is replacing that sleeping pad that I had that sort of popped pretty much just a few days into the Scottish National Trail. It was really comfortable, but it had like no R rating, so basically the only thermal resistance it had was like the air. But like I still liked it. I was able to get a full night's sleep on it. I'm hoping I can do the same with this. And to go with that, I have this little air pump, Eaton Wolf, Eaton Wolf. Just a little portable air thing. It's just basically a luxury, but still, it's nice to have. It's rechargeable USB-C and works fairly well, at least with the old sleeping pad. And finally, I have my tent. Same company where I got my first tent on the PCT. It's I'm sure you've heard of this one, the Lanshan. I think this is the Lanshan 2. It's not the Pro version. This came like water sealed straight from the factory, and I did have a very rainy few days on the West Highland Way, and this tent held up great. I was actually really surprised how well it held up. Really happy with it. It wasn't too expensive. I think it was like under 100 when I bought it, but I think it goes for like 120 usually, something like that. But yeah, it's just, trek and pull tent, really cheap. Nothing compared to like a Z-Packs or whatever, I'm sure, but for me and my budget, it's been working fine. And I pretty much keep that in another dry bag, quote unquote, and this little pouch that I attach to the outside of my bag. And then got my Sawyer water filter and this little mesh case, which I also bought at Triple Crown Outfitters. It's, yeah, just really handy. The plastic did break, so I have been using safety pin, which kind of works, but I think some cordage wrapped around here would be better. Might replace that because if I pull on the strap too much, like this thing just kind of comes apart and the safety pin goes flying. So, but yeah, I haven't really been able to find this exact kind of model somewhere. I've seen similar ones, but yeah, I like this one. Okay, moving back to the bag. I've also got a camp towel in there. As they say, it's the most massively useful item that you can pack. And a lot of hostels don't provide towels without a fee, so it's been good to have that. It's only a mid-sized one, but dries quickly and does the job. I've also got this, I believe they call this a Swedish dishcloth. It's basically just like a small piece of sponge, or like a thin piece of sponge, which I used on my tent, condensation in the morning. And I can't remember where I got this. It was either on the PCT or right before I left for the PCT in Florida. Someplace on some adventure, maybe. It's kind of my mark, my bag. Also got this little clip here, which is where I attach trash bags to. And I've got my little PCT patch, which I bought on PCT and just never put in the bag. But here it is. It's kind of coming off. I just kind of use glue to put it there. Hopefully it'll hold up for a little while longer, but we'll see. And then finally, got my chair here. That's definitely a luxury item, but every time I've been sitting in the chair and thinking like, oh, I could have just brought a sit pad. I'd rather be in the chair than on the sit pad. So yeah, I also keep my poop system in here, poop kit. It's just like a trowel and stuff in there. I mean, you've already seen all this stuff. Here, I'm not even going to bother to open it. This is just where I keep like extra trash bags and stuff like that. One of the things I did not like about the bag is it didn't have hip pocket. But one thing I like about the bag is it is very modifiable. So I added these molly pouches to it. If it just had, standard hip pockets, I wouldn't have been able to do this, and I wouldn't be able to fit the stuff that I carry on here. So this is like where I keep my camera. I got the 360 in here. This is the pocket I usually keep my charging kit in. That way I can just take it out easily at like restaurants and stuff, like the battery bank and power adapter and stuff like that. This is where I keep the drone and sometimes my phone. And then this is just like full of miscellaneous camera stuff like lens cloths and things like that. Other modification to this bag that I forgot to mention was I just added these like little elastic loops so I could store my camera on the go. So I usually stick it through there, and it also goes through one here. And I did the same exact thing on the other side to all my trekking poles, which I haven't done as much, but I've been trying to do that more instead of just putting them on the back of my bag like I usually do. There is a dedicated spot for that, but once you're actually hiking, it's kind of hard to reach back there and pull those out. In this compartment, this is where I keep my rain gear. There we go. There's some candy for the road, easy access. This is for water. I've got some, just like a little bit of everything. Got some coffee, got some hot chocolate, electrolytes, caffeine pills, that kind of thing. Here's the Frog Togs container, which kind of takes up most of the space. Oh, yeah, I guess it is a good thing I opened this because I forgot about this. This is just like a little folding backpack. It's actually, I washed it. I think I put it on too much heat because this cord here is like shrunk, so it's kind of hard to like stuff it into its sack. But yeah, this is just like a little day pack, which I usually use for carrying laundry through town. These are the winter gloves I mentioned. They're touchscreen capable and water resistant on the, I guess the back, but palms are not. So I thought it would be nice, like, I mean, and it was nice, especially in Scotland, putting my tent away in the morning, because that always, like, just made my hands, like, numb for, like, 20 minutes at a time. So it's, I was wearing these when I packed my tent up, and it helped out a lot. What else do I have in here that I forgot? Oh, yeah, this is a midge and mosquito net. Midge nets are different, like, the holes are a lot smaller because midges are so tiny. So it's a little harder to see through, but you need that for midges. Oh, wow. Forgot about this. Yeah, I bought this kind of specifically. This is just like a coffee can. Oh no, it was an oatmeal lid. I was going to use it as a cutting board, but I lost my Swiss Army knife, so I haven't needed it. And there's the other glove, and also I've just got this like a little knee brace thing, which thankfully I haven't needed to use yet, but it's there in case I need it. Okay, so that about covers everything. Last thing I'm going to do is pack everything up, and I can show you how much it weighs. Shows you how little I planned this video. I only got like 5% battery life, so what I think I'm going to do actually is just kind of just cut to tomorrow to when I'm leaving. That way I have an excuse to get everything packed up and put away, and I'll do that in the morning. And the grand total with food and water is 55 pounds. Food's about 5.5, water's a couple pounds, so yeah, that's like a 40-something base weight. Not to mention my little hip pouch, which is about 3.5 pounds, but I'm wearing that, right? So, doesn't count. Okay, guys, that was everything I carried on the West Highland Way, and I'm bringing on the Camino del Norte. Yep, a little shocking seeing that number on the scale again. I'll just consider it all part of the training. There are some trips I plan on taking in the future where I'll be able to leave some stuff behind in storage, and then it'll be like I have a superpower. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll try to put links below for as much as I can for stuff I showed, and I will see you next time. Goodbye forever.